It's time to start Dishin Days with your hosts Tony Moore, Michael Mattis, Justin Lee Hareld, and Araceli Aviles. And now, let's dish. Oh, why hello everyone, and happy Sunday. Welcome to Dishin Days, where we're serving up a full dish of this week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. And if you haven't already, make sure you like us and follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, X, which is formerly Twitter, and Threads. And also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just head on over to Dishin Days on YouTube, click the subscribe button, and make sure you hit the bell notification. That way you'll never miss when we're going live and in living color. And in case you don't want to watch us and you want to listen to us in that car ride on the way to work or from home or on that slow walk on the treadmill or a hike up a hike, make sure you find us on all podcast stations. We are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Just search Dishin Days and take us along and catch up on your favorite soap, Days of Our Lives. Also, buy our merch. That's right. You can check out one of these lovely items up on our merch page right now. If you're feeling lost on an island or a little devilish or just want to show that you are a lover and supporter of Dishin Days, head on over to dishindays.threadless.com. Buy yourself a shirt, a notebook, a mug, and let everyone know that you're down to dish. That's on dishindays.threadless.com. And also, we can't forget my former co-host and chocolate twin, James Lott Jr., who has launched his own media company. That's right. He has a whole conglomerate of the medias on YouTube.
Who?
Make sure you check out
A who? He's got a who?
Conglomerate. A whole
That
lot of
word
stuff.
you know. That word you know.
Absolutely not. It sounds like it was supposed to be right, so I inserted it here. So make sure you check out JLJ Media on YouTube, where you can get the rest of your soap opera fix. If you are a lover and fan of Young and the Restless, General Hospital, or Being Bold and Beautiful, head on over to JLJ Media. And while you're there, check out his original audio dramas, taking it back to a time where soaps weren't on TV, but they could only be listened to. And the only person that I know who's old enough to know that would be James Lott Jr. So go ahead and show him some love at JLJ Media on YouTube. Well, hi, everybody.
Hello.
Well, hi.
What did we think of this week's episodes of Days? Wow. I will say I found myself scratching my head and wondering, oh, okay. Oh, well, we gonna see
It was
how this
one of
turns
those,
out.
okay. Oh, this is where, like, okay, this is where they're going. Okay, this is, you know, nothing overly exciting, but, you know.
I feel like it's very interesting.
Interesting.
I feel like it's not.
So he's like, I disagree.
Okay. Well, then let's break it on down, everybody. It's time for our favorite part of the show, where we try to say this all together. It is now time to start
Dishin Days.
Days.
And the solo award goes to all right, everybody. Let's kick things off with our top storylines, and we're going to start with Letters and Lust.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
This is the storyline regarding Victor and the letters and Greece and all of that. Is it just me? Or are we all still trying to figure out how Teresa is connected to this? I thought last week I was like, "Ooh, she for sure has something to do with it." And now this week I'm still like,
I don't think she did. I think she's just being a Budinsky. I literally think she's just being a Budinsky. I was willing to go with the possibility that maybe she was pulling some stunts behind the scenes, but I don't think so. I think she was Teresa just being Teresa. I think she was just chasing tail across the world is what she was doing, which good for her. She got some.
I mean, that's a long way to travel, though. A 10-hour flight just
I
to get with
know.
someone that you could have got with.
That's Teresa, though.
Salem?
Teresa would do it. Don't put it past Teresa to, yeah.
Yeah, but
That's
here's the
commitment.
thing. Here's the thing. I'm so disappointed. I'm
Oh.
so disappointed
In what?
that they brought Jen Lilly back after so many years
Mhm.
off the canvas
Mhm.
with absolutely zero growth.
Mhm.
Like,
I mean, I saw maybe a smidge.
no, I didn't.
Like,
And
I feel
this
like
is
she's a more. I feel like she's a more mature version of her mess that she was before.
no, I don't think so. And that to me
Well,
is
mature means
severe.
older.
That to me, yeah, she's older. That's it. She's more mature. No, and that is severely disappointing because it's just it. I don't know. I'm mad about it. I'm that really upsets
You're
me.
allowed.
That really upsets me that there's zero growth in her. That there was no. I was so sure that there was some grandiose other reason for her to be on the canvas, and that there's not is so disappointing. And it just doesn't justify, but at least explains why Brady's acting like such an asshat, as Teresa so aptly called him. But even, I mean, doesn't justify it. And I'll get to Brady because even he was over the top. But at least I can understand if someone shows zero growth.
I just wish there was a different way to integrate her into this. Like, I was just sitting here thinking, like, I would have liked for her to have been genuine in coming back to Salem, to just kind of be a representative of Tate and just say, you know, Brady, I just wanted to be here for you because I know how much Victor meant to you. And like we were saying, if they're co-parenting and everything has been fine, then, you know, then that wouldn't have seemed unreasonable. And then when things started unraveling with Victor, I wish there was a way of just like her either finding her way into it rather than trying desperately to be a part of it. Like maybe she got some information that was going to help them, so she ran onto the plane and said, "Oh, before you guys go," and the pilot was like, "We're clear for takeoff," and then they just left, and so now she just kind of has to go.
Yeah,
you know, like I wish it was more that than her just kind of showing up and almost just being like a tag along. Because I thought maybe she did something with the letters, but she was just reading them. And then I thought it was strange that she was like, "Oh yeah, no, don't open it. Like, make sure Maggie, like my dad said Maggie should open it." But I'm like, "But you just read them." So like like I want it to make sense, and I just feel in my heart and my spirit that eventually it will. But as of right now, I am lost and confused.
Yeah, I mean, the way it looks to us right now and is that she was just being a Budinsky and then tag along and just inserting herself into this with no real use except just to be there. But there could be stuff going on that we're not seeing, you know?
This is true.
And you know, Days likes to do that to us. So
yeah.
maybe it's a smoke screen. Maybe
I mean, it was nice to see Shane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish we got more of the Donovan family dynamics more often.
But see, here's the other thing with that. Like, you traveled all the way to Greece to bring that suitcase when you could have, like, everyone could have just stayed in Salem. Constantine didn't know anything.
Yep.
Except to lead them to the letters that Shane apparently had from the wreckage. Like, so it's just
like what was this all for? Like,
right. I'm writing a fine line because I'm trying to. I I do find it interesting that the will was changed. I wonder what's in the new will that was in the briefcase. I wonder what the letter said, even though I already know what the letter says because.
Thank you, Soap Opera Digest.
Yeah. Well, and they're basically, there was no surprise basically on all fronts this week.
Yeah,
It's
but we're just going to talk about this week. But
it's so interesting when they choose, like they choose to do that. So they just blatantly put something out there like that, and then other times it's so like.
I'm still hoping that there's like
they thought it would get. Maybe they thought it would get people to watch. I don't know.
But, I hope that there's a surprise under the surprise. I hope it's that kind of a thing.
Surprise!
Another
surprise.
smoke screen.
Yeah. So I don't
smoke
know.
Screen. Smoke.
Yes,
screen.
exactly. Yeah.
Magic.
Magic.
But yeah. So I mean, I feel like the only thing that really happened was, Alex and Teresa made love, which that seemed like. I mean, I was with Teresa when she was just like, I know you just felt bad for me, which is why you did it. Because I was like, yeah, it's like everyone gets all like emotional and feels down. And then it's like, well, let me help you with a little
vitamin D.
I can even see, I'm not opposed to the pity sex, but even I couldn't get on board, but I couldn't even get on board with that because it was just it was almost too sad.
It just didn't. It just wasn't organic. It just was not like it
exactly.
It did not. They didn't flow into. It was just forced and not. Yeah, exactly. And maybe it was a way to show that Alex, people have been saying in the chat room, like Alex is supposed to be growing as a person and not doing that. And he even mentioned that he wasn't supposed to be doing that, but it didn't take much to convince him to do it. So, but yeah, it just,
there wasn't a build up to it. And
no, there was no build up to it. It was just.
Let me tell you, if somebody talked to me like that, let me tell you the last thing I'm gonna want to do. Is that
exactly, not organic, not putting you in the mood, nothing,
not a sexy mood, not anything. And while we're talking about that, Brady, get over yourself. Goodbye.
Oh my god.
Because to me, I was like, first of all, where's all this hostility coming from? Secondly, it would only make sense that if she's in Greece and she doesn't have her own room, where else is she gonna stay?
Yeah,
y'all have a whole baby together, so it's like
and oh god, that is what really irks me. First of all, I think it's just, I mean, why would you talk to anyone this way? First of all, anyone who's not Kristin.
Brady's a dick.
He is, but it's like he thinks Teresa is Kristin. I can understand him talking to Kristin that way after all the stuff she's pulled, but Teresa, like, I know that she did shenanigans, but seriously, compared to his latest baby mama,
when was the last time you saw Teresa pull a gun on somebody?
Yeah,
the mother of the mother of his child. We're talking about,
and this was someone he was engaged to. It's not like they actually parted on terrible terms. Like when she left to take Tate to California, they were actually on okay terms at the time. He was butthurt that he didn't have full custody, but they worked it out. And so all of a sudden, I don't understand it. Again, this is something, one in a long list of things with Jen Lily's return that just doesn't make any sense.
I kind of wish that, like, maybe so that we didn't think like they were okay with each other, like where they are now, that like when he went to go see Tate, he always came back and was just like, I made it through.
That damn Teresa.
You know that Teresa. Yeah, like something to where like it makes sense because she comes back and we're like, hey, Teresa. And then Brady's like, why don't you understand, Teresa, is that you and I will never, ever get back together.
Stay in my room.
He's due for a good bitch slap. He really is.
I was just like that. I was like, that just doesn't. I was like, wait, what? I was like, well, where's she gonna sleep?
Mhm.
Her and Alex barely know each other. They ain't went out on a date. They ain't have no din. They didn't go have drinks earlier. Like, barely knows him. Well, now she knows him.
There's just
See.
very few, like even in soap context, there's just not a lot of people that I have the instinctual impulse to slap the shit out of. But Brady would be my exception.
Araceli, I have
Uncouth.
never heard you talk like that.
Uncouth.
So uncouth.
Where's the cussing police?
Hey, I've had to wrangle a few people in my day, and when I tell you, like, just like the fantasies that I have sometimes, it's a very short list. Don't get me wrong, it's a very, very short list.
Fantasize
But-
about what?
Just slapping the heck
Slapping
out
the
of
shit
them.
out of.
And
I think we all have a list.
And people's scalps are very sensitive, not mine. Thank you very much. So I would pull out a big chunk of hair. I'm a bitch slap. I'm a
Oh, so
bitch that
basically
way.
you fight dirty is what you're trying to say.
She throws down.
I don't throw. Here's the thing. I don't go for the face because
Okay.
I feel like that's a little too personal. That's the moneymaker for most people, especially in this town. But damn, when somebody talks to you like that, the way that Brady talks to you, that's not okay. It's oh my God.
But I mean, you know, what Days needed was a way for her to stay in the room so that her and Alex could like do it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. It did no,
But
nothing makes sense.
But again, it's like it was. What was your reaction? Like when you saw that they were going to do it? Like, how did y'all feel?
I just kind of went. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
Fine.
I was just like, there's no, because it seemingly there seemed to be only interest from Teresa's end.
Mm-hmm.
And not Alex's end. Like Alex was still kind of inquiring, but the whole thing with Victor was happening. They had to go to Greece. Like he didn't have time to really like think about her.
And Alex didn't think, he wasn't as annoyed by her as Brady was, but there was like a twinge of like Teresa showed up, or understood that she was an annoyance. Like he wasn't, he didn't seem to be like, warm for her form, so to speak.
Yeah,
just like she was there, like
exactly. It's this is proof that you can still put two hot people in a room together and have it be no chemistry, bland as hell.
Joanne howls that I went to the kitchen and thought I missed something. Had to rewind.
Well, because then when it went from Thursday's episode to Friday's episode was at the end is when they, the dress was unzipped and
yes, they were in Greece. And
they were in Greece, and then
they were back in Salem.
Yeah. And someone mentioned they're like, it takes me longer to drive from so and so to so and so than it did for them to get back from Greece. And that was kind of it was one of those things I was like, okay, like it's a soap. We have to give them, because then they were talking about how there was no, when they were in Greece, there were no flights till morning. So they allegedly left in morning Greece time, and they were in Salem morning Salem time.
Yeah, well, with the time difference, it would add up.
Would that make sense? Like, but that's kind of what I gave him. I was like, they weren't just going like from East Coast to West Coast. They were going from Greece to.
She said it's a 10-hour flight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So in Greece is 10 hours ahead of Salem.
I think at least 5.
Or wait, I can't do that math. I can't do travel.
No,
math.
but why do we need to do the math? Here's the thing: is that why do we need to do the math? That's how ridiculous this is. We're more concerned about the math than the actual plot.
I would have expected like an episode break from that storyline and then picked it up like
Mm-hmm.
You know how they do sometimes. It's like something happens, then we don't see those people for a minute, and then they come. But it was just like, boom, we're continuing the story. They're back in Salem, and it was just like, oh. And I'm sorry, I never looked that good coming off an airplane.
No,
I do.
I 4 hours to Ohio, and I'm a disheveled mess. So 10 hours from Greece.
Baby, I
look
always look
snatched.
like this, honey.
Not
Well,
me.
Michael Madden, since you're in a Dance Moms marathon, when you get to the Australia episodes, you will see how I look coming off of a plane 17 hours later.
Jeez.
Still
What
great.
season is that?
5, maybe?
Okay, so they skipped. They went from season 4 to season 7 for whatever reason.
Who?
The Dance Moms channel on Roku that I've been watching every day.
Oh, do you
It was
have
literally
Hulu?
it was season. Well, no, if I want to see those, I would have to go on like on demand and get them. But this live Dance Moms channel on Roku just shows them all, and then like
Oh,
the
just in
other
order?
like the little girl Asia had her own series, and then it was like
Oh, yeah.
Abby's Ultimate Dance. So,
Uh-huh. Oh,
but then
interesting.
but for Dance Moms, they skipped seasons 5 and 6. They went straight to 7.
Hmm.
So I'll have to go check those out though on demand because now I want to see because I didn't see any of JoJo's episodes.
Oh, yeah. Or, I mean, if you have Hulu, they're all on Hulu.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah. Yes, Dylan Matthews, Australia episodes.
This episode of TV Guide brought to you by Dishin Days.
Yeah.
That concludes our Dance Mom segment.
Can I just tell you that streaming away from them, I am giggling at the fact that don't nobody want to work with Vivian.
Nobody.
Like,
You were my first and only choice. You were my first and only choice.
So I put the Vivian part later in the show. Do we want to talk about it now?
Yes.
We can. Oh wait.
Okay.
Is it? Oh, you put it in tidbits.
I put the Vivian focus later.
Okay. No, we can talk about it now because
she's integrated in. Obviously, she's a part of this. The whole reason they went because the villain.
Vivian. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, not a sigh.
Drugs. Okay. Vivian Alamein did not come out of jail to take over Titan to sell drugs. Does this track for anybody else? Because to me, I'm like, she was like, yes, we're gonna deal illegal drugs. Are you in? I was like,
I don't know what I don't know.
I was like, what?
If 2 + 2 = 4 and 5 + 5 = 10, Vivian wanting to sell drugs in order to gain capital at Titan does not compute. The math is not mathing. And she said it as if like people were going to be like,
sign me up.
That's it. That's what Titan has been missing. We're going to go back to selling illegal drugs. Now, when she said drugs, I was with Chad when he was like, oh, like pharmaceuticals? No, street drugs. I'm like, what kind of hard knock life did you live in jail to where you're coming out talking about we're all going to be drug dealers? Like, what?
It just did not track for me. Vivian is not that kind. To me, Vivian is not that kind of criminal.
No.
Victor back in the day, even Victor like now is not that kind of criminal. Victor back in the day, fine. But even with this, like, it's just straight up criminal activity. Vivian's devious. She like, if anything, if they wanted to go with this Titan's gonna launder drugs storyline, it would be that she had a front and that she was actually doing it on her own in the background and deceiving everybody about it and not being so open to like Chad Demira of like the goody two shoes of the Demiras. Like, if you wanted Demira to help you sell drugs, go to EJ. He knows that shit. He did that with Clyde West. It's what got him popped by Clyde Weston.
Yeah.
But it just did not track for me. And then the whole, I was on board with this Vivian return. And I was like, ooh, Vivian being Vivian. Then I was like, no, that's not Vivian being Vivian.
No, that's Vivian. Now Vivian harassing all of Salem's men. That's Vivian.
And her just coming in. Oh, she always intros herself with like, oh, hello. Mm-hmm. Like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Hello. But I'm so glad you're here. I need you to be my second hand.
My second in command.
It's
And then
like,
they just burst her bubble and she ends up crying.
right. Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Sandra Hulling just came in and said she was on a Zoom with James Ott Jr. Totally forgot about it. Shout out to James Ott Jr. Again. But everyone wants nothing to do with her, and everyone keeps looking at her and being like, "Give Maggie back her stuff." Oh no, I can never do that. Give Maggie back the house. Oh no, I can never do that. It's like nobody is on board.
Nope.
With Vivian Alamain at all.
Yeah.
At all. Like,
I do think we got the best responses.
Huh?
I do think we got the best responses from it.
Who?
From everyone, because everyone had everyone who interacted with Vivian, and in those scenes Vivian was being Vivian, and everybody had the best responses to Vivian. Chad was like, hell no, I quit. Philip stood up for himself, listed all the reasons that Victor and Vivian were alike, which would have Victor rolling over in his grave.
The reason why he went to rehab, and the fact that, Vivian, you are not my mother.
And Victor,
and please stop calling me your son.
Yes, and told her to go to the loony bin, not to hell, to the loony bin. and John, with the line of all lines, I would have visited you, but I didn't want to.
Like she comes in so warmly, and like it's like you ever have that person in life where they show up somewhere and you're just like,
yep.
And like you just quickly kind of go, hi, how are you? No, yes. Well, gotta go. Someone's calling me. Like, that's Vivian. Yep. Everyone is treating Vivian like that. Like, and then she's all like, oh, hi, it's so good to see you. Did you hear I was in town?
Did you hear I was
Nobody cares.
What you want? And then I mean, she just keeps hitting poor Maggie with everything, like, losing the house, then sending first of all, I don't know how late it was, but they both were in their jammies, I think. No, they weren't. They were just at home.
It was just late. It was dark out.
Yeah, but like, who's delivering a letter that late to be like, oh yeah, guess what? You're fired.
You know who's delivering letters that late? My mailman.
Well, that's
6 p.m. and don't get my mail. Anyway, I'm just saying it's possible.
It is, yeah.
The moment you realize you're a true adult, when you're the guy that's like, it's 6 p.m. Where's my mail?
It's always when we're expecting something too.
Well, they had other things.
They're busy. They got a lot of deliveries to make.
A lot of dogs to avoid.
But yeah, no one's happy about this Vivian thing, and I'm just like, what? I'm just interested in knowing how this all comes together.
Yeah, I just hope it's not anticlimactic. Like, yeah, I have a feeling it's gonna end up that Vivian just goes through all this just to like concede defeat and leave. And then it's like, womp womp, okay. But
I just want to have a gay
fear from this.
I want to have a gay
gas. Yeah, there needs to be something.
Like I want to come on here and be like, oh, now this makes sense. Mm-hmm. Oh, that was interesting how they did that. I just want to have a gay gasp.
Yeah. She does make good soap opera. It's just we need a point. Like when you bring a character like Vivian back and have Louise Sorel play her, you need to make it count.
Mm-hmm.
But also this. Can we go back to those moments where she's like, here's the scene. We're going to do street drugs. Chad, I quit. And then turns to the camera and goes, oh dear, you've made a big mistake. My true plan is bam, bam, bam. Like, where's that?
Yeah.
I just want to know. Because right now it just feels like there's no direction.
Yeah, precisely.
I just got a picture of a deflating balloon in my head, and I feel is everything we've talked about for the last half hour.
Well, and it's like every time like she would try, like her balloon was deflated in every scene, and she just like at the end of every scene, she was just so defeated, and I'm like, oh, come on, this is Vivian. Vivian's she's got other. What do you want to say? Chips in the pot.
Right.
Is that?
Yeah, that's accurate. Yeah.
Okay, chips in. Okay, I don't know where that came from, but chips in the pot. I did giggle when Julie threw her, like literally grabs her and unhand me.
I was laughing that she's like, well, I was out there ringing the door and no service came and opened, so I just came. I'm like, it's the Horton house. There was no Hareld, there was no Henry.
That was the joke. That was the joke. Yeah,
I know, but
she's expecting servants at the Horton house.
And then not her bringing poor Maggie, and those little figurines. I mean, first it was Bonnie. And
the tchotchkes.
They just put them in an office box and just
I can feel Maggie's just frustration.
Yeah.
Growing and growing with everything.
And Suzanne Rogers did a good job of showing that just in her face. Like
in her
just
body,
like she just wanted to explode. Yeah.
Yes. Where just like you can tell, like it's taking every ounce of her strength to keep it together. And it's just like you're just waiting. You're waiting for one person to say the wrong thing at the wrong time, and then she's just gonna explode. And I can't wait.
Someone said hi Lindsay, but they spelled it the way Lindsay Godfrey does, and I was like, is Lindsay Godfrey in here?
Oh, well, there's someone named Lindsay Reed. Lindsay with
I see.
That person probably just
Oh, I got.
Well, hi Lindsay with a Z. Welcome. Welcome to our home.
Lindsay with a Z, not Lisa with an S, because Lisa with an S goes
nuts.
I hope though at the end of this, we get a scene of Maggie just slapping the dog piss out of Vivian.
It doesn't have to. It doesn't. For me, it doesn't even have to be a slap. I just want Maggie, because I feel it. Who did I used to say this about? It may have been Suzanne. When Maggie gets upset and she really like wants to read somebody or really just wants to verbally let someone, just tear them down. Suzanne Rogers is so good at that. And so, I hope we at least get one scene of her just reading Vivian for absolute filth.
She could just kick her butt out the door. Like literally just kick her in the behind.
You know what I would have loved to have seen? Vivian say, oh no, you all stay in the house. I want you to have an front row view of all the things I'm about to do. And like every time they come down, she's just in some other, oh Maggie, can you go make lemon bars for me or something? Like almost treats them like servants in her house. And always a reminder of like, what are you doing? I'm having breakfast in my house. That would have been interesting. I would have enjoyed that a little bit. I don't know, something other than
more. Hopefully we still get some good stuff.
Yeah, I think we will.
Oh,
all right.
Yes.
Oh, jazz.
Can you imagine it like kicking Vivian out and they have someone like with a cape and she's just like, oh. God, and then it cuts her on the floor being like, well, that wasn't very nice.
Oh my God. I'm getting mannequin flashbacks though. Every time I see that, because it's like they either hop or whatever, and then you have to throw. If it would be Louise Theroux, you'd have to throw a mannequin. And I've worked with mannequins.
Just a mannequin with a wig. Just toss it out.
Yeah.
Anyway. Mannequins are funny to work with. I'm just saying.
Well, at least Days had never had to work with a mannequin like some other soaps did.
Oh God! Oh no! Oh.
Anyway, moving on. I think that's all for Letters and Lust, the Victor Kiriakis saga. Let's move on now to She Knows, but it took her way too long. Talking about Gwen and her lover Dimitri and his lover Leo. I appreciate the fact that we got a chance to hear Gwen recount how she put the pieces of the puzzle together. And I'm also very surprised that she walked in on Dimitri giving Leo a little afternoon delight or 10-minute delight, which I still don't understand why they
Giving
would use
Dimitri a
those
dental
feelings.
exam.
Oh, well, that's another way to put it.
Yep.
An oral exam. But what's so interesting is that they didn't hear her, and she still stood there. And I mean, to keep yourself composed, to not be like, "What the bloody hell is going on here?" She just kind of kept quiet.
I'm disappointed that it took her that long.
Ditto.
That it was that I was like, really, it really took the Madonna thing for you to be like, oh, but then after that,
we were like, that's when we said, oh no, she knows, because she was like, what?
Right, but I was hoping it would be that she, excuse me, I was hoping it would be that she had figured it out a little bit before, because there were signs before, like she had, well, and she went through, like, she's like, oh yeah, I was so stupid, blah blah blah. So
but there
like,
were
okay,
moments.
Tyler said it best. I was let down by Gwen being dumb for so long. That's exactly how I feel. Like I wish, like, at the moment she walked in on them before the wedding, when, you know, it was like, oh, I'm just trying on his suit or whatever bullshit they gave, whatever reason they gave. I was hoping that it something had, like, but apparently nothing. Like, I was hoping something, like, you know.
But you guys have to realize this, like, things started clicking. It didn't click right away, but it's like red flags of like, I need to now pay attention. And so she did. And so that's what kind of started. And it started even way before they got married. Like, she went further back and was saying how, like, you know, he said this and this made me, you know, think this. And then, you know, the initials MP and, like, you know, the magical penis and like, and everything was, and she said it didn't really, like, until the Madonna thing and the fact that he was in Iceland. And then obviously everything that she had thought of came to a head when she walked in and Leo was getting head. So it's like, I don't think she ignored it. I think she stored it. She was just like, let me just.
She didn't ignore it. She was like, her reasoning was that she had love blinders on.
She did.
It's not that she was ignoring it. She just, it wasn't even registering as red flags until after Leo came to Iceland and saw the afternoon delight, that she looked back and realized, oh. It's not that she ignored him. It just wasn't registering as a red flag. It didn't register as a red flag until after, which is kind of, you know, we had theories that she, you know, did her research, you know, because she did all that research on Dimitri and probably knew he had an inheritance. I mean, unless she's lying to Kristin now, unless what she's telling Kristin is a lie and she figured it, she's known all along, but I don't know if that's likely.
No. I just like the rebirth of their friendship, and she was, you know, they had that dialogue, and I don't know.
Wouldn't she be mad at Kristin though? Because clearly Kristin
knew.
Kristin spun it. That's the thing.
Okay, she did. Yeah, she did. She did. As though she, like, only recently found out, even though she knew. Okay, so Gwen doesn't have full knowledge of how long Kristin knew yet. So that's why.
She told her. She told her how long she knew, but she kind of spun.
Oh, she did.
She spun it. She spun it in a way that said, "I was doing it for this reason. I didn't want to hurt you." Blah blah blah.
Oh, but then Dimitri tried to play it off as though he was playing Leo.
Yes, and that was her reasoning.
Right. Now it's all clicking.
It's all coming back. It's all coming back to me now. I mean, I'm glad that she has figured it out. I'm glad that she knows. I'm now wondering what's going to happen now with this information, because now Kristin knows. Gabby and Stefan know. And and Gwen knows.
Mm-hmm. And then we didn't see them for the rest of the week. So
yeah, this is another
really
one where it's like, I'm disappointed. It was anticlimactic.
A little bit.
Yeah, the only part of this I actually did find interesting was when Dimitri and Leo were talking, and Dimitri suggested what he was going to do to shut Stefan and Gabby up, and Leo realized he wasn't kidding.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably the only intriguing part of this entire thing.
Well, and even Dimitri was like, I tried to destroy the world with a peacock.
Yeah.
Right.
He's like, you would really put it past me to kill somebody?
It's like, Dimitri, let's not go there. Okay. Let's calm down with you and your little secret. All right. And then Stefan and Gabby being all greedy. Oh, let's not just go after the mayor. Let's get a piece of that von Lurschner money as well. It's like, y'all calm down.
Don't
calm down. And I'm glad Stefan said something. I'm glad Stefan was like, let's not be too greedy. I'm like, yes. I'm like,
you're literally gonna lose your leverage.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, y'all. Like, let's not.
But that's Gabby. Why just get, an inch when you can get the whole mile?
Right.
Even though sometimes just take the inch.
Just, yeah. Oh, well.
Well, that's it with that.
Yeah.
We'll see how that storyline plays out. And now let's move on to Out of Their Element, which they really are. Wendy, Tripp, Harris, Ava.
How did they just toss the passport?
That's what I'm saying.
Did they just throw them out the window?
Did you put them in the trash and then someone said, "Oh, the trash is full. Let me take them out." Like let me tell you something. when any sort of document that I have that I think is my own like personal stuff, it gets shredded or it gets kept. And the fact that they tore those pages out and then just threw them away, it's like rookie mistake number one. And then Wendy.
They have oh my gosh.
You have no words for the stupidity.
They have Jesus Christ. They have written Wendy as this smart, intelligent person. And then this week undid it like tenfold. I was trying to push past my speech impediment.
I don't even know if that was a speech impediment or if that was just 10 seconds.
It was just
adequately describe how stupid this all is.
Because what came out of my mouth was like the way they written Wendy. That was about to come out of my mouth, and
we would have went with it. But no, it's like, first of all, Wendy, you should be smart enough to know that like he left his phone. Great. It's either a trap or you have 2.5 seconds before he goes, I don't have my phone. And you're just like, oh, it has a passcode. Of course it's going to have a passcode.
She wasn't even watching the door. Her back was towards the door. Like if you're doing that, you need to like, so you can maybe like see a shadow of someone coming so you can put it down. I think it was the George Costanza effect, where if you remember, there was an episode of Seinfeld, where both Elaine and George abstained from, the deed. Mm-hmm. George became smarter and Elaine became dumber. And so I think it had some sort of effect where she was abstaining and got, because, she and Tripp, went a long time without, and now that she finally got it, now she's dumb.
Now she's weak in the knees. She can't hardly speak. But I will say this. I will say kudos for her for going toe to toe with DJ and like kind of shaking him a little bit.
No, she didn't shake him. That was weak tea.
I said a little bit. But I'm giving her credit for standing her ground of trying to get him. But at the same time, it's like y'all are out of your league. Like, listen, I understand that you had your little trip and you isn't that when they found Stefan?
Mm-hmm.
With Johnny, Like, I get it. You had your little taste back then, but honey, when you're dealing with EJ Demera, you are out of your league, honey. You and Tripp. Now you out of a job.
The fact that she thought she was shocked that he fired her, like,
and of course he was going to fire you. You are connected with Tripp. Who's Ava, like that would have been the time to either have some sort of device that like you plug in really quick and download all the information and then take it out real quick and be like, oh yeah, your mouse is all done. You know what I mean? Or you know, you almost swipe the phone and be like, oh, I don't know where you left your phone. I left it on my desk. No, you didn't. I've been sitting here the whole time, EJ. What are you talking about? You have my phone. Why would I have your phone? Your mouse is fixed. She was very sloppy. She was very sloppy. But at least EJ now knows that Susan might be alive, even though he's like, I don't believe that for one little bit. But something's gonna make him believe it. But I don't know how, because they sitting over there in London, not having any other clue.
Do you find it interesting? Do you find it interesting? Like, I want to bring up Nicole. That Nicole basically understands everything that's going on. That EJ probably set up the hit, and you know, Nicole's not dumb. She's like, "Oh, you're suddenly acting as her lawyer." Blah blah blah. She knows EJ, and she's like, kind of just blasé about it. And I know she's got like the baby, and that's, you know, bigger fish to fry, and maybe, you know, doesn't want to deal with it. Not trying to stress her, exactly. But I was like, she's not mad.
Well, because again, this is what I like about EJ and Nicole. They know each other.
They understand each other, yeah.
You know, so it's one of those things where it's like, listen, I know what you did, but don't lie to me. I'm not stupid. Because let me tell you, when she came in and she's just like, ooh, yes. Looking all pregnant, rubbing the belly, and then just being like,
see that blowout? By the way, the blowouts this week, the hair department, aces all around, because Kayla had good hair, Nicole had good hair, Vivian had good hair.
Everybody got good hair.
Jen Lilly, Teresa had good hair.
Teresa had good hair.
I think this may be when, like, I'm guessing, because, you know, for a while during the COVID times, you could tell, like, people may have been doing their
own hair.
Didn't have enough time in the chair, maybe. But I think if we go back like 6 months, you know, from now, maybe they finally opened up the makeup room and they're like, oh, you can do your blowouts now, because it was just like so perfect. It was something I noticed. And I first noticed it with Nicole when they had the shot from the back and her hair was just perfect. And then I noticed it on Kayla.
And let's not forget about that ponytail.
Oh, the high pony she had for 3 weeks. Yeah.
But I just like the fact that she came in and she confronted him and was just basically like, bruh, I know it's you. Like, but don't lie to me. And I just like that she confronted him. And again, this is why I like the dynamic between EJ and Nicole, and why I feel like Eric and Nicole, the ship has sailed. And one of the things I thought about this week was, you know what? Sometimes I get that, like, you want to satisfy a fan base, but I, for the life of me, will not understand why Eric and Nicole would be the end goal. Like, I'm perfectly fine with her and EJ.
I mean, take away the murder part and you actually have a very healthy relationship. Patience, honesty, realistic expectations.
Communication.
Yeah.
Honest communication.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Good hair.
That really, I mean, it really is kind of for better, for worse kind of a thing.
Speaking of other relationships, now listen, Ava, girl, I was with you when y'all was getting ready for bed, and you looked at Harris Michaels and was like, and I caught myself too. I was just like,
You can
You
sleep
can
right here.
tell that Tony Moore is not a General Hospital watcher because it's like he
No,
saw
I've only
Steve
watched
Burton.
Days.
I know because if he had seen Steve Burton for the last 20 years like I have, you would not have been shocked.
Okay, Steve Burton, mid 90s. Steve Burton was teenage Michael Mattis's like secret crush.
Oh,
Like
not
I had the calendar,
the Steve Burton calendar.
and I didn't even watch General Hospital, but
Yeah.
he
But
was
somehow you had the
oh,
calendar.
Not early 90s.
he had like that like mid 90s, like 96, 97.
No,
he had like the
truly
boy band hair and
Oh no,
This
no,
is
no, no,
insane.
no! I couldn't.
Hate.
Oh, not the boy band
Hate.
hair. No, when they changed his character on General Hospital, and he did like the complete switch, hair, clothes, everything. That was when everybody stood up.
I stood up before that.
Okay, but yes, he has put in the work.
I'm looking. I literally just did I literally just did a search that was. You know who he looks like?
Sean Kanan. LOL.
No, he looks like Jensen Atwood. Not Jensen Atwood.
Jensen
Sorry,
Jensen Ackles.
Yes,
Yeah.
Jensen Ackles.
He looks
sorry.
like another
Jensen
Atwood.
Ackles from Noah's Ark.
Yeah, they all had
that
thing.
like coiffed hair.
Yeah, they all had the same hairstyle.
I mean, okay. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
We need a minute.
We could do like I think he needs like a year by year thing. Like,
I mean,
Nate
but
Five,
listen,
Steve
Nate
Burton's gonna watch this episode. Then he's gonna be at Day of Days, and he's gonna see us and be like,
I totally forgot that he's probably going to be a Day of Days. Oh, now y'all got me nervous.
I'm telling you, A+, grade A,
beef.
and he's still.
Well, listen,
he's kept up nicely.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, oh, okay. But then I was like, not the bad thing again. I was like, you did that with Jake, and that's how you got with Jake. And I love that moment. Like, let's not turn this into romantic. Y'all both just broke out of Bayview. What kind of toxic relationship y'all about to have?
I literally am just along for the ride for this because I'm a General Hospital fan.
I'm along for the ride because it's on the show, and
if I were strictly just a Days fan watching this, I'd be so confused.
Well, I'm trying to go along with it, but they haven't stuck with me yet because they've just been it's too much other things going on to like, and maybe this is what bonds them, and maybe if they stick with it long term, it'll develop into something. Right now, it's just they're in the development. They're in the incubation.
Well, I'm just glad that they also addressed the fact that she was like, I'm just so glad that you're here based off of one vision that I had. And now we're in London. I'm like, I'm glad you recognize that. Because we all sitting here like, how'd y'all get here? How did y'all get here? How did you get here? Colleen says, I gotta say, Jensen Ackles is much hotter. I mean, they're both equally hot.
I was gonna say, they 10 and 10. It's a 10 and a 10.
They kind of look the same.
Dang, Nicholas, you got me nervous now.
About what?
Are you nervous?
Because you'd say because I don't know why it didn't compute that Steve Burton is probably going to be a Day of Days this year.
Yeah,
I don't know why it didn't compute in my head.
Hopefully, we will. I mean,
this is true.
Got a month to figure it out, but
I mean, listen, we'll be there one way or the other, either as press
either
and host or just
waiting
as
in line
fans.
with everybody else.
And let me tell you,
Peacock Place.
You get nothing. I remember when we went to the 50th anniversary book signing, and we were like, hey, we just kind of want to say hi. We want to take some photos, take it back to like report on Dishin Days. Is there any way we can kind of just get up there real quick? No. I was like,
no, you got to go down, buy the book, get your wristband, and get in line.
We did that, but we were so far down the line, and we're like, we have to get to the studio. Like, we're on a time crunch, like, and there was no help from PR. They said, we know who y'all are, but you got to wait in this line like everybody else. I said,
Well, we're
well,
in Peacock now, so hopefully, fingers crossed.
I mean, we there's no reason to think we won't be there. So
I got a few reasons. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Everything is still developing. I mean, it's like a month away, but
Mhm.
yeah.
All right. So we are done with our top storylines at the moment. We're going to go into our tidbits. But first, just some quick reminders, y'all. If you could please go and follow us on social media. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, X, and Threads. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Tell a friend too. And hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. Also, make sure you buy some merch. Oh, sorry. Go to our podcast stations. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio in case you want to listen to us and not look at us. And also buy some merch, dishindays.threadless.com. Show your love for Dishin Days. And of course, don't forget about James Lott Jr., JLJ Media on the YouTube. You can also find him on podcast stations as well under JLJ Media. Go find all the media that he has created. And now we are heading over into tidbits, and we're going to go into our first story is, ooh, you in trouble.
That was
Okay.
an homage to Tootie Ramsey on The Facts of Life. You're in trouble.
Can I ask y'all, can we take a poll?
Talia can.
Oh. Bimby. Do you all think that Talia and Shawn actually had sex?
Yes.
Oh, I think this has happened before, and I can't remember who with, where we were like, maybe they didn't actually. Oh, it was Shawn. It was Shawn. Him and
with the devil.
Him and the other girl.
And Jan.
Yeah. Because he was saying they didn't actually. Anyway, there was something about them actually like completing the transaction.
Oh, that's right. But it was actually Christian Maddox.
Exactly. I was assuming they did.
Oh, no, yeah, they did.
The chat room is a resounding yes.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, and
yes. Yes.
They 100% had sex.
Yep. Yes, but I hope not.
But for some reason, I don't think they did. Y'all were both drunk.
I mean, the whiskey dick could be a factor.
There's no evidence of an encounter.
So not that we can see.
But you should have alluded to. Like, can I see?
When has anybody ever to? When has have they ever had to allude to it?
But again, that's what makes me think that they may not have, because they both. First of all, I have never been that drunk. I just want to go on record in saying that. But if you are completely drunk, the first thing when you wake up, you're putting the pieces of the puzzle together. And trying hard to remember. They were both like, oh my God, what did we do? We did it. Oh my God, what? And I'm like, Y'all ain't waking up from being that drunk and both not really remembering what happened, but you're just assuming that you had sex because you both woke up in the same bed.
No,
which by the way, sisters sharing a space, both having in the same bed. Jeez, days. Did we not have an event at Mattress Brothers? Could y'all not have gotten sponsored with another mattress?
Oh, somebody move out.
Anyway, I don't know. I don't think they did.
Okay. I think they did.
I do too.
You don't think they did either, Michael?
No, I do think they did.
You do think they did. Araceli, you think they did. Most of everyone think they did. Well, you know what? I will be the Lone Ranger and I'll eat crow later if it happens, but I don't think they did. I think this is something else to lead to something else. Someone's like, Talia changed the sheets. Yeah, because she thought,
No, she changed the sheets for a reason. Anyways, at least this seemed to be the
mustache.
Seemed to be the catalyst for Shawn finally waking up. I need help. I done something stupid, even more stupid. I can't. I'm a hypocrite now. I can't call her out on this because I just did this.
Everyone, sorry, side note, everyone is proving a point that Rafe does have a whole house.
This is true.
And nobody's in that house.
This is true.
I just put it together.
Dylan has such a crush on Talia. He's like, Keisha's looking fine as hell. And then it's like, do we blame Shawn? Look at Talia. Okay, Dylan Matthews. All right.
No lies. She is a pretty lady.
She is very pretty, and I do like her in braids. She looks very great in braids.
I just realized we had one character in therapy who kind of backslid into Teresa, and then we have another person in therapy who somewhat backslid.
What?
Who's their therapist?
Oh yeah,
Marlena. She's the only therapist in Salem.
Mm-hmm.
She's had over 5,000 patients.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 2 of them need some attention.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then there was also Whitley King.
Yeah.
She saved the day with that one, though. Marlena was able to somewhat diffuse her.
Somewhat. I don't know. And then, it's obviously going to cause a ripple effect with Belle and...
How long is this secret going to be out there? How long are we going to go now with Belle, that secret kind of being the elephant in the room before Belle finds out?
Mm-hmm. No idea. But that little meetup in Horton Town Square, I mean, there was just like, hi, nothing to suspect here. I wasn't with your man last night. And whenever it does happen, Belle can just walk up to Talia and be like, he's mine. You may have had him once, but I got him all the time. He's mine. You may have had him once, but I got him all the time. Moving on. We already talked about we talked about Vivian, but let's talk about the sudden question that both Patch and Kayla have posed to Stephanie in regards to her relationship with Chad. And when are you two going to get married?
I mean, it's when did they become those parents?
Now,
I guess,
but also
it was more. I felt like it was more authentic for Steve to kind of, do that. When y'all get married, like that's a dad thing. Like I found that to be somewhat like
no, moms can do that too.
I just feel like moms when it's their daughters. Like there's probably a little more like sensitivity to the daughter. Hi, Bimby. Like the daughters, I don't know.
I just feel like that's such an outdated question at this point. I feel like the only time that maybe that question is not inappropriate is if the couple's been together, say like 10 years. Like my cousin, who we hounded. Year 8 went by. Year 9 went by. And we're like, hello.
They could there's something to like, Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. They've been together for 60 years.
For almost 40 years. But they established early on that they weren't going to get married. That's different than saying, when are you getting married? They established that they were going to be together, period, but that they weren't going to get married. That I feel is different.
Here's the thing. Kayla did kind of have a point. in the fact that like you guys have got to be headed towards marriage because not only do you live together, but there's children involved. So you're at home, you're cooking dinner, y'all are basically living like a family. And so it's just like, if you're just dating someone and maybe it's serious, it's like you can't be doing all this in front of the children because the children are going to think, oh, okay, this is our new mama.
But if she's their stepmother, then it's the only reason
But
to
what
do
if
it
the
would be
relationship
for the
don't work
piece of
out?
paper.
What if the relationship don't work out?
Well, then that's up to them. Then maybe it's better not to get married. Either way, it's probably better to take their time.
The concern was more so with the fact that they shacking up like they are married
with the kids
and with the family and with the kids.
Well, that has
If
that
they were
ship
two
has come and gone.
if they were two people and there were no kids involved, okay, there wouldn't be the pressure of asking when are you getting married. But the fact that there's children, there's play dates, there's dinner time, there's school functions and signing of permission slips and things like that because you're all living together, that's a different thing.
Yeah. Well, that ship has come and gone. So we're where we are.
And I don't know why all of a sudden I said kids and all I can think of pizza in the morning, pizza in the evening, pizza at supper time. When pizza's on a bagel, you can have pizza anytime. I don't know. You guys know I get into my singing modes. Anyway, I agree with someone who just said that they think that Stephanie definitely still likes Alex, and I think so too. Even though she gave him permission to, gave permission to Teresa that it's okay to do things. There's that. Also, Steve and John, before they were interrupted by Vivian, were chatting about Timothy Robichaud. And John letting him know that John Doe is Timothy Robichaud, who is also his father. And how him and Marlene are going to dote on him. He's such a great guy. And I'm like, where is the DNA? Y'all just picked up a man that said, I think I'm your father. I haven't had any memory. And
I was wondering when that scene started, I was like, oh, I wonder if Steve's going to be the one to be like, well, partner, you should probably get a DNA test. But no.
He was like, what?
You heard me.
They're family. They're happy. Leave them alone.
Well, partner, you should probably get a DNA test.
It was funnier than even the second time because you did the patch. Listen, Araceli, I'm gonna need you to differentiate Dick Van Dyke from Timothy Robichaud because while they are a cute family, it ain't cute to have a stranger up in your house posing as your daddy. Now, daddy. I, for one, hope that he is the father because I don't want to revisit John's past again. I want him to move forward. I want him to know exactly who he is. If he is being played, I have a problem with that because once again, we back to square one. And John ain't getting any younger.
Well, Maury's off the air, so I guess we'll never know.
We can know. Maury has been replaced with Karamo.
Karamo. Does he do DNA tests?
Maybe. but I feel like his show is real and just as messy as Maury was.
Oh, I'll have to watch.
Yeah.
Maury was my jam.
Why am I not surprised? This is a person who gets giddy and pops popcorn for a police car chase.
Oh, there hasn't been a good one recently.
Point proven. Well, you've probably been missing them because you haven't been watching Days, and they click over to a police car chase that always seems to happen between the hours of 1 and 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Of course.
Or PDT as there's. You know what? Side note. There's listen. I understand. The time falls back, whatever, and I guess we're supposed to change from standard time to what's the D one?
Daylight time.
Daylight time, whatever. Listen, it just makes it easier. PTSD, not PTSD, PST, EST. Like y'all know what it means.
Oh my god.
Or PT, Pacific time. PT.
You know what? We're gonna start writing that. We're gonna write PT and ET so that someone can stop being like, it's PTD right now. I'm like,
call it West Coast time.
What were we talking about? Oh my gosh.
Mero said Dick Van Dyke is no longer doing episodes. Just assume they did the DNA test off screen and it came out positive that Tim is his real dad. Happy ending, no more drama. No.
Thank you.
Absolutely not. You and Araceli can live in that
that.
world of Dick Van Dyke can do no wrong.
I'm totally
not
fine
I
with
said
that.
the cat. I
No,
need
we
proof.
need a DNA test. I need a DNA test.
PROOF.
I need data.
Data. I need Dana to come through here and spit out her results. Look at her sitting there mad because we talking about DVD possibly being spiteful. You know if he was any other character other than Dick Van Dyke, you would have had questions too.
Yes, but he's not any other person than Dick Van Dyke. He is Dick Van Dyke.
DVD.
The
Pop him
legend
in and watch
himself.
him. He is a legend. But Timothy Robichaud is a liar and a cheat.
He's a raggedy. He's a raggedy bitch.
Raggedy, ratchet, lying, sneaky, conniving, snakes on a plane, thief.
It's at this point that I tune out Toddler Tony.
Do what?
It's at this point that I tune out Toddler Tony.
She mad about DVD. You know what? Now I hope DVD pops up and he's all jolly and then goes, I got him. And it turns out he was lying. He was lying to your precious John Black, aka
because he's possessed by the devil. His eyes
Hello, Araceli.
Don't we have enough drama without you having to make some more stuff up?
I'm just saying, it's like, okay. So would you? So if one of your family members worked in the hospital and discovered that this jolly older gentleman who resembled Dick Van Dyke was potentially a family member, are you just saying that you just gonna scoop him up and take him home and be like, this our uncle? First of all,
not if he resembled Dick Van Dyke. If he was Dick Van Dyke,
no. The fact that you had to think about it shows me that you'll end up on Dateline.
That's why I don't go
she
out.
lit up a room.
That's why I don't go out. Oh, that's nice.
She lit up a room. You know what? Tell the truth. Don't do that with me. Tell people I thought he was a bitch.
He was a raggedy asshole.
He was raggedy. Talented but ragged. Like, tell the truth.
Yeah.
Don't be like, oh, he was the light of my life. No, y'all tell the truth about me.
Oh no, I'm the opposite. I want people to be in absolute agony at my loss. Like hysterical, can't think straight.
I'll throw myself on your coffin, I promise.
I might be one of those people that pop up in a video and go, I have no idea why y'all are here. You never was there while I was alive. Don't be trying to be here while I'm gone. Goodbye.
Petty to the end.
And just so you know, in the will, nobody gets bury me with my bank accounts. I'm out. Anyway, sorry. Moving on to our last tidbit, which is Rex. Doofus.
That's a very mild word.
Mm-hmm.
I even think Maggie is kind of like, oh my God.
Even like again, Suzanne Rogers with the facial expressions, you could tell she was like, not this shit again, like not this idiot. And she, of course, Maggie was able to put it very eloquently. As somebody who just lost, was just widowed and like how he was basically doubling down on a lie. Mm-hmm. And she was like, I want no part of this. And I was like, good for you, Maggie. This is a bad idea.
Because Maggie's like, you want to get married today? Don't you have enough? We have enough. And then she's like, you know what? I'm not going to deal with this. I'm going to say what I have to say. I'm going to speak my piece, and I'm going to exit stage left because I'm not here to take any more.
Yeah. She was like, I'm done. I'm out. We're good here.
And then Rex doubling down on his doofusness by telling Philip out in the open the secret that they're trying to keep.
To which Chloe, who is also about to get married that same day, apparently, coming from shopping and getting her wedding dress, overhears. Which, by the way, I will never understand how people in Salem have such supersonic ears. Because if I was just walking around the corner, I would not be able. I would have been like, "What you say? Huh?
Yeah.
You said what? Who did that? Who did that?
Again?
What you say about you said? Did you say Xander? I read your lips. It said Xander. You said something about my man.
No, she knows, and it just. I've said all I need to say about Rex.
Well, that's enough with that storyline, and we are going to see how
we gave you the bullet
develop.
points. Yeah, well,
pretty much. I mean, I do feel like Sarah is battling, telling. I think deep down inside, she does want to tell Xander, but on the surface, she's just like, no, this is a good plan. Yeah, I'll just, after giving birth to a baby, get up and get married. Why not?
And that was probably a rough, not in a hospital, no epidural.
Honey, that pregnancy
didn't seem like it was easy.
I'd be like,
needs a minute. give me all the Advil.
Right.
Let me rest for a week.
Advil? You think Advil does anything?
I was gonna say something else, but then I don't want to. Yeah, just Advil.
You can say tequila.
Oh.
It's been known to be useful.
Okay. Tequila.
You can say it.
I don't think you can just I don't think you can push out a human and then say shots.
Well, if she's breastfeeding, no.
Okay. Araceli
I can't say.
Everything.
I've never had
I don't think. I'm just saying it has been known to be used.
So note to self: Araceli's going to pop out a full-grown baby carrying a briefcase and a cell phone, and then look at someone and say shots, and then she's going to down.
Where's the Cuervo?
She's gonna look at the baby and say, "Now, this is mommy's special cup. Mommy's special cup. Don't get mixed up. Mommy's special cup. I take my medicine."
You know that just gets the kids riled up, and then they actually want it more, right?
Oh gosh. Well, that was your week of days. And now it's time for our favorite part of the show, which are our segments. And we're going to start with mine, which is Tonti's official 3 Snaps Award. Oh, snap! Now, I love somebody who can just tell the truth. And in this scene, when John and Vivian interact with each other, and Vivian comes in and says, "Oh, nephew, it's so great to see you, even though you didn't come and visit me one time in Statesville." And then John just replies with, "Oh, I would have liked to, I just didn't want to." Sometimes you got to let people know, listen, the thought was there, but thank you, but no thank you. So Drake Hogeston, John Black, you get Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. Oh, snap! I feel like that might have been the first time I've ever given Drake Hogeston the 3 Snaps Award.
Maybe.
In the 8 years that we've been doing the show.
What about when Marlena died, got shot and died?
I feel like it went to Belle.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So this might have been the first time. Well, congratulations, Greg. Well, no, there might have been one other time, but it's rare. But listen, that was shade on top of shade, and he continued to shade, even when she was like, "Oh, that little detective job. I like my job. I like what I'm doing. But you know what? I'll come work for you if you do one thing: give Maggie her house back."
At least he's polite about it, and he had a smile on his face the whole time.
Well, listen, all Southerners have a smile on their face when they look at you and say, "Bless your heart."
And you know they really don't mean it.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what else? A little tidbit. When someone says, "I'm gonna pray for you," just know that's the prayer.
They ain't praying for you.
Mhm.
No, that was the prayer. So if I look at you and be like, "Michael Araceli, I'm praying for you," that was the prayer. Like that's it. I'm not gonna go later and like be like, "Oh Lord, please watch over Michael and Araceli." No, I said the prayer. The more
believe
you
it.
know. I meant to go back way earlier in the show and say this. Justin is working. That's why he.
Oh
ain't
yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
he's working the food
Sorry.
bowl.
Is
Raven
that what he's-
Bowens was there last
I was
night.
just gonna say, yeah, she's been having a
I
blast.
wonder if they saw each other.
Is that what he's working and he didn't invite us?
He didn't. I don't think it's something he could invite. We probably had to buy a ticket.
Yes.
It's LA. There's always a way. I
We-
like
Not
food.
really.
I know,
I like bowls.
not with that stuff.
I like food bowls. Michael,
I
you
love
like
food. I love a food bowl. Remember when he texted us and said that? I was like, tell us more about this food bowl.
Oh yeah, that's
I was
right.
you and I were gonna show up with forks and Tupperware for take
Oh, that's right.
take home. Completely forgot about it, but
I
yeah.
did.
It's not
Me
Soup
too.
Plantation.
First of all,
Rest in peace.
Triggered. I'm just kidding.
Oh, the name. Yeah.
And now it's time for
Caption that.
All right, this week's caption that photo is courtesy of Talia running into Belle and Shawn, looking like she pretty much pooped her pants. And this week's caption goes to our favorite, Dylan Matthews, one of our favorites, Dylan Matthews on Instagram, with Talia saying, "Oh no, Belle and Shawn, you couldn't get Beyonce tickets either?"
oh,
The look on the tragedy.
it is.
Mhm.
It is. And that was
Caption that.
and we do not have a those were the days because Justin ain't here. He is food bowling or bowling food.
Bowling for
So we're
food.
gonna go on to
It's a gift.
And this week's It's a Gift for the first time goes to Miss Julie Williams, really bringing out the big guns. So if you ever think that grandma can't beat your butt, oh, just wait. Just give her a reason.
give me one reason to push you, and I'll turn right back
Your ass
around.
outside.
I tried to get Dylan Matthews to turn that email into an MP4 so that we could show it, but I don't know if he got that email or not.
Oh yeah, I told him to send it. He might not have converted it.
Yeah, because he was too busy in here talking to us and looking at Talia, and that was.
It's a gift.
And now it's time for
News and gossip.
All right, everyone. I've got a long list, so bear with me here. First up, we have a reminder, Day of Days. This is our special event. This is our event, guys, happening Saturday, October 21st here in LA at Peacock Place, formerly LA Live. It's now Peacock Place. Doors open at 10 a.m. It is free, but it would be nice if you can RSVP at peacockdayofdays.com.
and also check out our social media for a full guide created by Michael Mattis on what to expect
Day of Days.
for Day of Days. Yes, and speaking of Day of Days, our four handsome men of Days of Our Lives, Brandon Barash, Eric Martzoff, Wally Kurth, and Carson Boatman, will be performing the next day, October 22nd, at the Bourbon Room in Los Angeles, and they continue on with the Day Players tour. They will be in Huntsville, Alabama, November 4th, Nashville, Tennessee on the 5th, Florida in February of 2024. For tickets and details, head on over to thedayplayersband.com. Support them. They're amazing.
Next up, we have our Daytime Pride event, Daytime Pride 24, which is for 2024. It will be next year, Saturday, March 23rd, 2024, in National Harbor, Maryland, with Cameron Grimes and Kate Fairbanks from Young and the Restless, our very own Mike Manning, and Colton Little from Days of Our Lives, hosted by our very own Tony Moore. Get your tickets now at SpectrumCelebrityEvents.com.
And a big congratulations goes to Mr. Lamone Archie, ex-Eli Grant. He and his wife just welcomed the arrival of a beautiful baby girl. Congratulations to Lamone and his wife on your new arrival.
She's gorgeous.
She's so cute.
Yeah,
Oh
like that's
in that little. Oh,
that's a good looking baby.
yeah. I was. You know, some
we can say it. Look, we're grown
some
up.
babies ain't cute.
Yeah.
Some babies grow into their looks.
Yeah, she's beautiful. She's beautiful.
She's so pretty. Oh my god!
Look at she's a model already. Look at that little.
So peaceful. I know.
So
So shout out to the to Lamone Archie and his family for welcoming new little cute baby girl.
She's beautiful. All right,
he's a girl dad now. Was he a girl dad before? Or does he have boys?
He has a girl as well.
Oh, he had a girl. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
She's beautiful. Congratulations. Next up, we have a celebration. Days is celebrating exactly 1 year on Peacock. Remember last year when we were all freaking out and I was on vacation? I'm like, what the heck just happened? Well, it all worked out, guys. 1 year since Days of Our Lives moved from NBC to Peacock. And the cast and crew were able to celebrate with Van Leeuwen's ice cream. An ice cream truck was brought to the set, and everybody's able to enjoy and just appreciate each other and have a little mini celebration in between scenes.
Stephen Nichols posted a video of him and Mary Beth getting their ice cream. What cracked me up is the set photographer for Days. Her name's Jill. She was like, you could see her in the background, like shooting the pictures you see right here. And then she turned around and saw that Stephen like had his camera up, and she did one of these like slow.
a Homer Simpson back out of the way.
Like she just kind of backed out. It was so funny. But Stephen Nichols is good with that behind the scenes stuff on his Instagram.
I think he only has videos.
And I love Bill Hayes repping Days of Our Lives. Just
yes,
as usual.
And too cool for school. Look at him in the sunglasses eating his ice cream. It's so cute. All right, you guys. This past Tuesday, we had a little blast from the past. I ran into Chriselle Staus, ex Jordan Widgway, at an event called Christmas in September, which was held at the. If you would let me finish.
He acts like I didn't invite him.
First of all, let me finish. Okay.
Actually, I didn't invite you. It was open anyway.
Let me finish. I ran into Chriselle Staus at an event called Christmas in September, held at the Abbey in West Hollywood, which was a toy drive for Children's Hospital Los Angeles. And the top-notch photographer of Dishin Days, Mr. Michael Mattis, was also in attendance, who also took that photo of me and Chriselle, and we were able to laugh and catch up. She looked beautiful. She looked great. She's slaying. So shout out to Chriselle Staus and shout out to Michael Mattis for us getting together and running into a Days alum, Miss Chriselle Staus. And thank you so much, Michael, for this wonderful photo.
You're so welcome.
It
was a fun little random Tuesday kiki, as you would say.
It was. And Michael Mattis dashed to the bar to get his free drink.
Hey.
Free is free.
Free is free.
This is true.
But Chriselle was she's always so nice and she's always so sweet. We've had her on the show a couple of times actually. And
she has my favorite answer of all of our interviews when the last time we interviewed her, I think, was at the time that they were doing shows on the app, like Chad and Abigail in Paris. And we were talking about, they could bring, and I think this was this may have been before they brought her back to kill her.
Oh, yeah,
but like, oh, she could be on that, one of the app shows, and she was like, one of the app shows, I don't think so.
She's like, if you're gonna bring me
She's
back,
like,
bring me back on the main show.
She's like, I want to be on the real show. And you know
Yes.
what? I appreciated her honesty about that. She had goals, and now look at her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and she still comes back. She came back this year in Purgatory. So
yeah, loved it.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Dan Furigal is letting us know that he has a Kickstarter up now for his graphic novel, Fractured Shards. This is for volumes 1, 2, and 3. You can find the link on his Instagram. And if you're not familiar with Kickstarter is a fundraising platform where you have basically different tiers of what you can donate, and you will receive something in return, whether that be the artwork or pins. People get very creative with their Kickstarters, and the project must be fully funded in order to reach the goal that they set in order to be fully funded on Kickstarter. So please, if you would be so kind to go to the link on Dan Furigal's Instagram and show your support.
And I believe he's only $800 away from his goal.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys donate, let him know that Dishin Days sent you.
Furigal fans, only $800 away.
I told you, I knew that Jen was going to remind us of that. So you guys head over and make sure you support Dan Furigal. In more news, is that one next? We have a brand new episode of Teo Pingla's podcast, The Lost Treasures. If you guys didn't get a chance to see him on Dishin Days last week, make sure you go back and take a look at that. He gave some insight as to the origin of why he decided to do this and where this comes from and what it's about. And Episode 1 premiered earlier this month, and then earlier this week, Episode 2 came out. So make sure you guys go and take a look. You can find The Lost Treasures on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and wherever podcasts are found. Make sure you support Teo in his new podcast journey.
All right, next up, we have an audio drama which features a couple of names you might be familiar with. Premieres this week, starting September 29th, wherever you get your podcasts. You can find The Case Within, which is an audio drama. It's kind of a mystery about the plot centers around Special Agent Nicole Baumner, who's looking to a cold case that's complicated by parallels between the case and an event in her past. And the main cast includes our very own Martha Madison and Eric Martzoff, as well as supporting characters voiced by Days vets A. Martinez and Patricia Darbo. So please
and
tune in.
Jillian Clare was one of the first Sorast Abigails. She played Abby she played Abigail like 10-year-old Abigail. Like from when Abigail went from like toddler to like child. That was Jillian Clare. So she has that's how she has all these Days of Our Lives ties. She's kept in touch in the network. So
always keep in touch.
Yeah.
Always. Yes. All right. So that premieres September 29th, wherever you stream your podcasts.
And just a quick little shout out to Martha Madison, who just did a stage reading in New York for Benny Go Home that looked like it was very successful. She posted some photos on that. So just want to give a quick shout out and congratulations to Martha on her stage reading of Benny Go Home that was in New York. Yay. Next up, we have several of stars attended the Project Angel Foods Angel Awards, including Miss Ava Vitale, Miss Tamara Braun. Project Angel Food is an organization in Los Angeles dedicated to providing meals to the this is why you should read beforehand.
Oh, yeah.
They average about 1.5 million medically tailored meals each year. This year's honorees included Cheryl Lee Ralph, artist and author Mary Fisher, which I'm reading that and I'm like,
it's not She Devil Mary Fisher
from She Devil, and Jewel. And so Michael Mattis, our top-notch photographer, was on deck and took this lovely photo of Miss Hammer Braun, and she's also pictured over here with Derek Yates, Jay Rodriguez, and
Annika
Annika.
Noel.
Yes.
From The Bold and the Beautiful. She plays
Hope.
I don't know who she plays. She plays Hope on
plays
Bold
Hope.
and the Beautiful.
So congratulations to all those honored, and great to see. Tamara Braun looks amazing.
Yeah.
I want that jacket.
This is like their annual award / fundraiser, and it was the first time in 4 years that they were able to have it because of COVID.
A worldwide pandemic. No biggie.
The pandemic interrupted some things.
I mean, did it?
Yeah. All right. And I think last but not least, if you happen to be in the state of Kentucky in the next few weeks, they will be premiering at the Louisville International Film Festival, which is please go support your local film festivals no matter where you are. There will be a short film called Insane, which features several daytime favorites, including our very own Eric Mortzoff, Paul Telfer, and Gilles Marini, as well as All My Children vet Eva LaRue. The short film is called Insane, and it is about a scientist who suddenly finds himself at a mental institution. I believe Eric Martzoff plays the lead role there. And he must figure out if he is being lied to about why he's there or if he is actually, insane. So please, if you are anywhere near there, go support your local film festivals. Go support the cast.
It also has Brandon Goings. He's in the top right corner. He was one of the reporters when Abe decided he was going to come back and be mayor.
Was he the one that asked all the questions? He was the one that asked all the questions. Got it.
He was one that asked all the questions, but also his wife is one of the directors of Days.
Cool. Good
so
for
there's
him.
the Days ties there. So congratulations to everyone.
Yeah.
The network. And that, after a long time, was
a lot of news and gossip this week.
News and gossip.
And before we throw you guys to
Oh my god. Wait a minute. Wait. We need the sound of the
Okay, let's see. Hold on. Ah! or as Vivian would do it. Oh my.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that's better. That's so much better.
Oh my. We are now going to toss it over to our promo of what's going to happen this week on Peacock's Days of Our Lives.
Xander is the father of Sarah's baby.
The big week
You deserve to know the truth.
of Days bombshells
Sorry to crash the party.
and one family
Someone in his family is Victor's son, and he doesn't know it.
will never be the same.
I don't know how else I can tell you this. I'm not your father.
Days of Our Lives, streaming now on Peacock.
Oh.
Bravo, Wally
are
Kurth.
not
I
the
felt
father.
pain. Come on, Wally Kurth.
I guess
Ooh.
Wally's also doing some heavy work over on General Hospital. So I've read.
He's going back to his roots. So they were. He's basically going back to kind of playing the version of his character on General Hospital that existed 30 years ago. Which is funny because they're also going to bring back his ex-wife, who is also his ex-wife in real life.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, big stuff going on there. Yeah, Wally's doing the most.
Good for him.
We know that Wally's on 2 different soaps, but that he's front burner on 2 different soaps is a lot.
Well, listen, Wally is living the life. He is
Like the male
working.
Eileen Davidson. He just needs to get on Housewives.
He is working General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, and Boots Boogieing during the day players. So,
jeez, man,
you are living the life. Before we head out, though, I just want to give a big shout out to Dylan Matthews for our oh dear moment. So thank you, Dylan Matthews, for creating that. And thank you guys for tuning in to another wonderful week of Dishin Days. We appreciate all of your support. But before we head out, Michael Mattis, let the kind folks know where they can find you.
You can find me and Bimby on Twitter and Instagram at ML Mattis, or X, not Twitter anymore. X, whatever. Y'all know where it is. ML Mattis.
Yeah. Araceli, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at TA323Araceli.
And even though he's not here, y'all go show some love to Justin Lee Hareld. You can find him only on Instagram because he only wants to post on Instagram. He only wants to deal with Instagram. He's only on Instagram at Justin Lee Hareld. You can find me on all social media platforms, TikTok, YouTube, X, Twitter, all of those. At Lounging with Tony, and you can find all of us on our social media platforms, Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, X, and Threads. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will be back next week for another full dish. Well, we'll be missing a dish next week because Michael Mattis has a better dish served cold.
I have a better dish to serve, I guess. Is that how we would say it?
Sure.
I ain't gonna be here, is what we're trying to say.
Right. But we'll be live once again next week to give you a full dish of what's going to happen this week on Peacock's Days of Our Lives. Until then, everyone, have a wonderful week. Stay safe, stay blessed, and we'll see you next Sunday, 3 p.m. Pacific West Coast time and 6 p.m. East Coast time. Bye, everybody.